Alright, so in this video today, I'm going to be speaking about the Houston Rockets and giving my overall grade and review on the Summer League that's just passed. But before I get into this video, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's see how many new subscribers we can gain. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So let's start off with Mr. Tari Eason, who was outstanding during Summer League. He made all Summer League first team and was overall, he just exceeded the expectations. He averaged around 17.2 points, 10 rebounds, which is a double-double, and an impressive 1.8 steals on 45% from the field and 33% from three. I feel like Tari just showed a level of hustle which just stood out to me and everyone else watching, that he was so hungry and he wanted it more than anyone. I feel like his takes to the rim, although at times were kind of out of control, he showed a great level of poise to finish them, get contact, get to the line, and I feel like Tari was just such an impactful player on both ends of the floor. Defensively, he was there, he was crashing the glass, he could push it in transition. There's nothing Tari Eason didn't do. Like, he did everything on the floor and he really impressed me overall. So I'm going to grade him an A. I don't even need to touch on him too much. I just feel like Tari Eason is going to be such a great player. And don't be surprised if he's up there in the Rookie of the Year talks next season. Obviously, it's Summer League, so like I said in my bottom line, don't overreact or underreact. But from what we've seen from Tari Eason so far, there's only cause to be excited and just curious on how good Tari Eason can become. So overall, I'm going to give him an A overall as a grade. Then, moving on to my guy Jabari Smith. I feel like as Summer League grew, he gained confidence and was more kind of fluent on the offensive end. However, there are just some major concerns such as his shot selection, his overall efficiency. Like, he wound up shooting, I believe, around 35% from the field and 23% from three. Those aren't accurate, but I'll put the stats on the screen, but something like that. And I just wasn't overall impressed. Yes, if you watched him at Auburn, you'd understand that this is not someone that really had the handle in his game. However, this Summer League's kind of exposed that needs to change. So if you thought Jabari Smith should have had a handle, you should have watched him at Auburn, because that was not the case. But it needs to improve, because I didn't like his lack of ability to take guys off the dribble and break them down. He just can't do that right now. And I feel like he's someone who's going to be very reliant on a true point guard, setting them up in pick and roll, pick and pop situations. And even though KPJ does do that role very well, I don't think he's a natural point guard. And yes, it takes time. For example, James Harden was never a point guard to start with. It takes time, and I'm not saying the transition will not happen. However, as of now, I don't feel like KPJ is the lead facilitator that can really mask over Jabari's woes at creating his own shots. So like I said, when the season starts with more eyes on the defense being on Green, Porter, God knows what could happen. Maybe the offensive game could be more easy for Smith, but I'm really concerned about what I saw. But it's fine, because defensively, he was a monster. Like, the steals, being active in the passing lanes, getting rebounds, blocks. Like, Jabari Smith was very impressive. What's notable to me is that snatch block he had, and I'm already saying it right now, the guy can legit guard 1 through 5. Yes, there are still some bits and bobs you can pick out of his defensive game, but the potential and upside on that end is just endless, and I honestly feel like they could have a monster on the defensive end. But with all that being said, I would only grade him a C- because the offensive woes are very loud, I should say, and he didn't really live up to expectation on that end of the floor. So I give him a C- overall. But then moving on to Josh Christopher, who last season I was very big on. Josh Christopher deserves more minutes, but with what he showed me in the Summer League, it kind of gives me the hint that he's just not ready yet. Because although I feel like he can be a very beneficial six man at some point, the shooting splits just didn't wow me or impress me at all. Because yes, he got 19.7 points per game, but on 39% efficiency and 12% from three. I'm sorry, those are terrible splits, and that's something that can't carry over to be a good basketball team. Although Jacob has a lot of ability on the defensive end, he's a very good hustle player like most of these players are, and is freakishly athletic, he needs to work on the efficiency, because he has spurts where you're like, okay, this guy can really get to his spots from mid-range and inside, but at the same time it feels like he forces a lot of shots up, whether it's from beyond the arc, from the mid-range, and he has the mindset of like, yeah, I need to be that guy. Well, I feel like Jacob needs to slow down a little bit and play within his means, and the efficiency will go up. But I'm not going to take away what he did do, which was be a good bucket getter at times, play hard on the defensive end. However, like I said, there was just something looking at the splits that held me back and made me think, wow, that can't really it's not very beneficial for your team if you have a 2-guard coming off the bench shooting that poorly from the field. So overall, I'm going to grade Josh Christopher a solid C, because he was all right, but like I said, I just don't know. I'm starring bears because I don't know how to explain how I feel about Josh Christopher right now. He kind of disappointed me, but he kind of did, yeah. Anyway, let's just move on next to TyTy Washington. So TyTy was an interesting one. He's not someone who I came in with high hopes saying, oh, he's going to be the best point guard in the world. Nah, I just expected him to be a backup point guard and show flashes of that. And in my opinion, he did, with overall stats of 9.4 points per game, 3.8 assists, on quite disappointing shooting splits of 37% from the field and 30% from 3. However, I must reiterate that he did play better than his shooting split suggested, and you can kind of tell there is potential there as a backup point guard, and maybe Summer League was kind of like a toss-up between him and Nix, who gets the nod next season. However, I feel like Nix has kind of edged that, and TyTy may need a few years in the G League to fully develop into the player they want him to become. But overall, I'm not too worried. I feel like he does show flashes of being a nice little point guard in this league, so let's just give him more time to develop, and overall, I'll give TyTy a C+. Now, moving on to Daishen Nix. Now, Nix was someone who I saw got quite a bit of hate, and I really wasn't understanding it, because I felt like he really was solid throughout the entirety of Summer League as a whole, with splits of 13.4 points, 4.5 assists, on 45% from the field and 45% from 3. I feel like Nix can really be that traditional type point guard off the bench that can do a bit of everything on the offensive end, can score the ball and can facilitate. So this is something, in my opinion, which will carry over to next season, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets some backup point guard minutes next year as expected. So I feel like Nix was just solid. Like, he's a good 3-point shooter. He can get inside because as a small guard, he is very big and muscular, so he's not going to have an issue against smaller guards or guards his size that are guarding him. So in my opinion, I feel like Nix did very well, and I would give him overall B+. The hate he got at the start was unwarranted. Yes, he kind of did start off slow, but as the games went on, I feel like Nix grew as a player and really showed that he can be a legitimate backup NBA point guard. So Daishen Nix impressed me. I don't know about you guys, and I give him a B+ overall. Now, moving on to Anthony Lamb. Well, there's nothing much we really have to say. 3 points per game on 31% from the field and 21% from 3 in 17 minutes per game. He's just garbage. Like, Anthony Lamb is just very bad, and I just have nothing really much to say. So the grade I gave him overall was an F+, and if you're wondering what the plus is for, the plus stands for the fact that he's getting off the team and won't have to see him in a Rockets uniform ever again. So that's the positive. That's why there's a plus in front of the F. Because if it was a minus, I mean, that would mean he's still on the team. So I'm just happy he's gone. But regardless, Anthony Lamb is terrible. I don't want to see him play ball again. And yeah, that's what I really got for this Rockets kind of review. And overall, I'll give the Rockets Summer League performance a B, because there were some really bright spots like Tari Eason, and there was a few worrisome moments for someone like Smith on the offensive end. But like I said earlier, it's just Summer League, so don't overreact, and also don't underreact. But that's all I really got for this video. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, let me know if you agree with me in the comment section down below. But yeah, thank you for listening, and I'm out. Peace.